All right, aloha, Tulsi Krats, Bernie Krats, Indy Krats, or just people who aren't Krats at all. I'm Dave, and this is The Radical Independent, the channel where we probably excoriate both the left and the right to some degree. I am just a work in progress when it comes to politics, and always evolving when I hear certain things in the political realm. Yesterday I did this video about how last night was Tulsi Gabbard's last stand. This was like the Alamo. She was absolutely amazing and not even debatable the best candidate on the stage. It's not even close. Now, when you wake up to corporate media this morning, you're going to see the food fight between Harris and Biden. They're standing right next to one another. So they're in the same shot. I mean, CNN, Jake Tapper of all people. Jake Tapper is asking questions here, which is just mind-boggling that we would leave our democracy up to the questioning of a Jake Tapper character. It's absolutely insane. It's insanity that we even have this network that the Democratic Party would agree. Because guess what? Even if you don't think they're fake news, they're fake news, okay? And they have an agenda. They want to elect a corporate Democrat. Everybody who has a brain understands that. Now, this video, Tulsi Gabbard's closing statement last night was terrific, but I wanted to play this clip of her just absolutely eviscerating Kamala Harris. Absolutely. And by the way, her campaign loaded this sucker up there. So there, and they use, as you can see in the title here, they used the word torches, and she did. And it was some of the best, this was like political, I don't know, use your whatever word, drug of choice. This is the kind of stuff you actually watch a debate for. And Tulsi kept going. You know, Kamala has a weak comeback. You're making speeches on the floor while I'm doing the work. Really? Because you're not really doing the work. I mean, Kamala Harris is Hillary Clinton 2.0. You could say that about Biden, but Harris's mannerisms, the way she carries herself, like, I'm aloof. And it's this whole mentality that I fit all of the intersectionality boxes. I'm in this perfectly politically correct niche, and you better just back off because you don't know what you're talking about. This woman came off last night as arrogant, as self-serving, as not really truly understanding some of the dynamics that have led to what Tulsi did, which it just pointed out the flaws that nobody else, by the way, in the media is going to do. That's why this was absolutely spot on, brilliant, and possibly keeps this campaign going. Let's hope and pray. All right, here's Tulsi with our buddy Jake Tapper asking the question.
False accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. That...
And listen to the reaction of this crowd, which is they're all supposed to be pretty much corporate Democrats in this room. And they're cheering and they're cheering. And the body language of Kamala Harris and the side-by-side, I'm sorry, I know Kamala Harris is a bit older than Tulsi Gabbard. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because the side-by-side, it's actually, I don't know. I don't want to make any derogatory comments that would get me in trouble here, but just watching these two women next to one another, who would you rather see every day as president?
Would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national.
I did the work. I'm better. I'm better than you. You don't understand. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm better. I'm better than you. This is exactly the kind of politician we don't need. I don't care what party you're in. I don't care. This is somebody we don't need. This is Hillary Clinton on steroids. That's what this is.
National model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to...
Fancy speeches? You mean fancy speeches that are accurate and call you out on your failures? That's what you mean by a fancy speech? Okay. Let's continue with this entitled aloof candidate for president.
Reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about re-entering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response, ma'am?
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Senator Harris.
Did you see that? The expression at the end? I don't know what to say. She's just so beneath me. I'm surprised she didn't start spouting off poll numbers, you know, how well she's doing versus how well Tulsi is doing. Yeah, because she's, I'm sure Kamala Harris is raising a ton of corporate cash. She literally inherited Hillary Clinton's campaign structure. Literally. And for those of you that want a somewhat younger version of Hillary that uses pretty much the same body language, has the same talking points, comes off as, somebody who wants to be an oligarch or a monarch or however you want to look at it. There you go. Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. And instead, you could vote for the scrappy, tough, resilient, I'm coming at you again with the facts, because the facts are more important than what your talking points are all about. Tulsi Gabbard is going to be the most searched name today. Again, regardless of what Google tells you, regardless of what the media tells you, she won. Not only did she win the debate again last night, but her substance was significantly more important to the average person than all this back and forth between Biden and Harris. And by the way, as a side note, everybody's like, oh, we have to go after Biden last night. Biden didn't have the gaffes that he had in the first debate. So all of your pundits out there, they're going to start to turn the ship back over to Joe Biden. I mean, they're going to, not that it hasn't already been in that direction, but now you're going to hear more talk about, Biden righting the ship and standing up to Kamala Harris, which, as you see here, isn't really that hard to do. Biden just has to remember not to say, my time's up, and answer a question right, which, by all accounts last night, he did. And, I know this is a dog and pony show, and it's a sad way, really, to decide who should be president. It's not that debates are a bad idea, but they've become like a pageantry. Like, okay, who's on stage tonight? Ooh, this is going to be like a celebrity thing where we go watch celebrities. Who's this Tulsi Gabbard person? Ooh, who's this Andrew Yang person? And really, Gabbard, Yang, those are the only two people that were interesting last night. Everybody else has the same talking points. The healthcare thing. If you're a true progressive and you think Medicare for all is the way to go, neither Harris nor Biden have that. In fact, in one exchange here, I think it's Kathleen Sebelius is the person that helped write the Kamala Harris healthcare bill. And she's a lobbyist and she works within the healthcare industry. So she's very interested in keeping private insurance running and smoothly running in her mind. And this is where those plans will take us, into more chaos. If you liked Obamacare, you'll love the Kamala Harris plan. It's just so complicated. Biden was right. Biden's plan supposedly doesn't insure 10 million people. Medicare for all. There's your answer. And bring the troops home. And let me see if I can pick up some of Tulsi's closing statement, because she does again talk about what happened in Hawaii when that alert came through.
They continue to escalate tensions with other nuclear-armed countries like Russia and China and North Korea, starting a new Cold War, pushing us closer and closer to the brink of nuclear catastrophe. Now, as we stand here tonight, there are thousands of nuclear missiles pointed at us. And if we were to get an attack right here tonight, we would have 30 minutes before we were hit. And you would receive an alert like the one we received in Hawaii last year that would say, incoming missile, seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. And you would see, as we did, as my loved ones in Hawaii did, there is no shelter. This is the warmongers' hoax. There is no shelter.
This is the warmongers' hoax. There is no shelter. Okay, look, and if you just think that all this anti-war stuff is a gimmicky thing, it's for hippies from the 1960s. By the way, people who originally in my life I didn't really empathize with. I thought, hey, they're just glib. They just want pacifism, blind. No, they understood that we were marching people off to their death in Vietnam. Okay, they understood that intrinsically. And the music changed, the culture changed. Yeah, did you have all this free love and sex and all? It was rebellion against authority. And the authority was telling you that you had to go to your death. To fight, by the way, not only that, but to fight for something that wasn't even worth fighting for. Our country made that decision. And we've not learned from our mistakes. We've been making that decision over and over again since World War II. And Tulsi Gabbard has to go back to World War II because they always ask her, so, you're anti-war. What was a worthy cause? What war? Like, they want to feel good about us going to war. Even World War II, do you feel good about that? I mean, of course not. But I would say World War II does qualify as a legitimate thing that we had to get involved with. So anyway, let's finish this off because look at Tulsi's expressions. She means business. This is in her DNA, in her soul. You know, this is a different kind of presidential candidate. I keep saying it, and it's like I'm shouting from the rooftops and nobody seems to want to listen to me.
It's all a lie. As president, I will end this insanity because it doesn't have to be this way. I will end these wasteful regime change wars, work to end this new Cold War through the use of diplomacy to de-escalate these tensions and take the trillions of dollars that we've been wasting on these wars and on these weapons and redirect those resources into serving the needs of our people right here at home. Things like health care for all, making sure everyone in this country has clean water to drink and clean air to breathe, investing in education, investing in our infrastructure. The needs are great. As your president, I will put your interests above all else.
Okay, so she just absolutely crushed the closing statement. She related everything that was on her list to the idea that we're spending trillions of dollars on needless and endless wars. Most conservatives who are normal, not these Bill Kristol types, they believe what she's saying. Most independents who just use logic and say, yeah, that I don't understand why we keep going over there if they're not a direct threat to us here. Why do we keep going over there? And the Democratic Party, which has strangely moved into some kind of Cold Warrior mode because of Donald Trump, and they want to highlight, you know, all of these boogeymen like Putin, and they want us to all be afraid again. And she's saying we need to de-escalate. This woman could unite the country, could calm everybody down, both on the left and the right. Because you got Trump out there, and look, Trump has been really effective at stoking his base. And if you put a Kamala Harris up there or an Elizabeth Warren up there against Trump, oh my goodness. This is gonna be like this next election will be like a civil war. All right? Not that it isn't already going to be contentious. But if you have Miss Aloha running against Donald Trump, what is he going to do? She's tougher than he is on every issue. He'll be reduced to tweeting about candidates that almost got the nomination. It would just be a great spectacle because you'd have somebody who would actually tamp down the divisive rhetoric and call people out on actual policies and issues. She hit a home run last night, and she keeps her candidacy alive. I was hoping that a miracle would happen, and it did. Now, with one caveat. Where is the media going to go with this now moving forward? Where are they going to go with it? Are they going to pretend she doesn't exist still? Because the people know she exists, and the people are all typing, looking, searching, and the more they find out about Tulsi Gabbard, the more they're going to understand she served in Congress, she served in our military, she's had experience, like hardcore experience in politics since, I believe, age 21. All right. By the way, there's a great website to check out if you want to find out more information about Tulsi Gabbard other than her Tulsi2020.com. It's called tulsigabbard.org. Basically like a clearinghouse of information about Tulsi and her, just everything about her. She's a surfer. A lot of people don't know that, and she appears to be a good surfer. Not that matters, people, but we need somebody who can appeal to young people, to older people, to across the political spectrum, and not much else I can say. So, thanks for watching. Again, if you can support me over on Patreon, like $1 a month, $2 a month to keep this channel going, and revenue is down on this platform as I switched over from being, the Save America channel over to the Radical Independent. I knew that was going to cost me, and it did. but I had to be true to who I am and brand myself rather than brand myself on the back of Tulsi Gabbard. And also, I will try to remember to put the PayPal one-time donation email in the description of this video. So that's it for now. I will talk again soon. It's what we do with this, people. It's what we do with this. What are we going to do with this? Are we going to let this go, or are we going to fight for Tulsi Gabbard?